Whoa, a new digital music player. Thanks, Mom.
Oh, I'm glad you like it, because I can't wait to toss the big stereo. And now that we got your dad that big HD TV he wanted, we can throw out our old TV, too.
Hold up. You can't just throw out electronics.
Really?
They need to be recycled or donated.
And how would we do that?
It's so easy, Mom. Today, recycling electronics is just as easy as buying them. GreenerGadgets.org has all the info. We just enter our zip code to find a certified recycling center nearby. There are thousands of them, and new ones are being added all the time. Some of our local stores are even certified recycling locations.
I like that.
Did you know that some of the stuff in our old electronics could be used to make new products and conserve natural resources?
Well, okay then. Let's gather them up. What was that website again?
GreenerGadgets.org. We just enter our zip code and go.
Good evening, and welcome to Storytellers-Campfire. This is Rich Gehlhausen, co-hosting this evening with Lady Selah, SuJuris, Charlie Checkers, and Isabella Hart. We have a special show for you tonight. We're combining Earth Day and National Poetry Month for our featured presentation. And then Lady Selah, SuJuris will be sharing something very special from the United States Library-of-Congress for National Poetry Month. I'd like to remind our audience that you can now listen to our programs by phone by calling 310-982-4134. And that number again is 310-982-4134. I have several announcements for tonight. This Friday, April 24th at 8 p.m. Pacific Time, I'll be your host on Storytellers Campfire for a special show for Free Comic Book Day. On Saturday, April 25th, I'll be your host again for a Storytales presentation of the history of the Pony Express. On Sunday, April 26th, Storytellers Campfire will be featuring a special interview with Tanya J. Peterson on her book, Losing Elizabeth, which won the most distinguished Marvel Book Award. And lastly, on April 29th, I'll be your host on Storytales with the history of the authentic cowboy song, The Streets of Laredo, and featuring the song provided by Matthew Sabatella and the Rambling String Band. Well, now we'll take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back with Charlie Checkers, Lady Selah, SuJuris, Isabella Hart, and myself for our feature presentation.
More than 1 million wild animals are killed each year illegally. Poaching is a major threat to our country's wildlife. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor with a desire to preserve living space for wildlife. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust does just that. Works with private landowners to protect wildlife, to preserve natural habitats. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, call 800-729-SAVE. That's 800-729-SAVE, or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. Thank you.
Welcome back to our Earth Day and Poetry Wheel combined show in honor of National Poetry Month in progress. This is Charlie Checkers. Welcome back, listeners, to the campfire. Tonight, we are honoring Earth Day and the National Poetry Month in April, and I have a poem prepared by Lord Alfred Douglas. He lived from 1870 to 1945, and his poem is titled Spring. Wake up again, sad heart, wake up again. I heard birds this morning singing sweetly. Wake up again. The sky was crystal clear and washed, quite clean with rain. And tar below my heart stirred with the year and sighed, oh pallid feet, move now at last, oh heart that sleeps with pain, rise up and hear. The voices in the valleys run to meet, the songs and shadows, oh wake up again. Put out green leaves, dead tree, put out green leaves. Last night the moon was soft and kissed the air. Put out green leaves. The moon was in the skies. All night she wakes and weaves. The dew was on the grass like fairies' eyes. Fairies' eyes, oh trees so black and bare. Remember all the fruits, the full gold sheaves. For nothing dies. The songs that are silences that were. Summer was winter, oh put but green leaves. Break through the earth, pale flower, through the earth. All day the lark had sung a madrigal. Break through the earth that lies not lightly yet, and waits thy patient birth. Waits for the jonquil and the violet. The violet, full, soon the heavy pall, will be abed, and in the noon of mirth, some rivulet will bubble in my wilderness. Some call, touch my silence, oh break through the earth. Now for a short musical interlude by Musical Meridian. This is Charlie Checkers. Welcome. Now I would like to read a poem by Emily Dickinson. She is one of my favorite poets. This one is titled, Nature is What We See. Nature is what we see, the hill, the afternoon, squirrel, eclipse, the bumblebee. Nay, nature is heaven. Nature is what we hear, the bobolink, the sea, thunder, the cricket. Nay, nature is harmony. Nature is what we know, yet have no art to say. So impotent our wisdom is to her simplicity. Now enjoy another short musical interlude by Musical Meridian.
listeners, I hope you enjoyed that short musical meridian. Now, I'd like to share one of my favorite poets, Angelia Morgan, God the Artist. God, when you thought of a pine tree, how did you think of a star? How did you dream of the Milky Way to guide us from afar? How do you think of a clean brown pool where flecks of shadows are? God, when you thought of a cobweb, how did you think of dew? How did you know a spider's house had shingles bright and new? How did you know the human folk would love them like they do? God, when you patterned a bird song flung on a silver string, how do you know the ecstasy the crystal call would bring? How did you think of a bubbling throat and a darling speckled wing when you chiseled a raindrop? How did you think of a stem bearing a lovely satin leaf to hold the tiny gem? How did you know a million drops would deck the morning's hem? Why did you make the moonlit night? Why did you make the moonlit night with the honeysuckle vines? How did you know Madeira bloom distilled ecstatic wines? How did you weave the velvet disk where tangled perfumes are? God, when you thought of a pine tree, how did you think of a star? Now we will listen to a short interlude by Musical Meridian.
Well, thank you, Isabella. Well, Mary Howitt, she was an English poet who lived from 1799 to 1888 and who created a great deal of literature and poetry and was widely published in England and throughout Europe and the United States. Probably her most famous poem was The Spider and the Fly, that was published in 1826. Tonight, for both Earth Day and National Poetry Month, I'll recite another of her poems, Buttercups and Daisies, by Mary Howitt. Buttercups and daisies, oh, the pretty flowers, coming ere the springtime, to tell of sunny hours, while the trees are leafless, while the fields are bare. Buttercups and daisies spring up here and there. Ere the snowdrop peepeth, ere the crocus bold, ere the early primrose opens its paly gold, somewhere on a sunny bank buttercups are bright. Somewhere among the frozen grass,